everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I'm a little tired, not too terribly tired. We had a super fabulous weekend, but it was a tiny bit exhausting, so I think I'm feeling it more in my throat. So I didn't realize I sounded this way. I was asleep when my husband left for work, which doesn't happen very often. Usually I'm awake by the time he leaves. It's Tuesday, and on Monday I had to get up really early because I had jury duty. But when I got down there, I had checked my email and everything, because in these days of electronic communication, they had sent an email on Saturday and said that we were still required to show up to serve. And then I got there, parked all the way in the back, power walked into the courthouse, which is a little bit of a hike in the freezing drizzle because I was afraid I'd be sitting all day and I wanted to get my heart rate up at least a couple of times. I thought I could walk back out to my car for lunch. And by the time I got in there, our pool number had been excused. You were welcome to stay and serve if you wanted to. I did not want to. So then I had to power walk back in the freezing drizzle to come home. But I find serving very interesting, but not when I was that tired. So I came home and kind of sort of unpacked and sort of rested and answered a few emails, but I just needed time to decompress. I really needed to go to the grocery store, but I wasn't up to that. So I'm back at it today. And like I said, I feel great. It was such a good time. Such a good time. It would have been a good time. It kind of, it progressed from us discussing the possibility of doing the event when we were together as demonstrators at On Stage in November in Indianapolis. And we decided it was something we wanted to do. And then when we discussed dates, if you've seen the pictures, our friend Lisa Fast, her dream was to have a wedding barn, and it's in full operational mode and has been it was ready kind of before the pandemic happened and kind of came to a screeching halt just as it was starting. But since then, it's always busy. And so starting like next week, it's booked until December. So once we decided we wanted to do it, we had to take an open weekend. So in November, it was like, well, we'll take the last weekend you have open. And then to make it work with Shannon West from Stampin' Up, we took the Sunday and then added the Saturday. So she wasn't here on Saturday. And then we applied to be a 35 for 35 event, which is a Stampin' Up thing. And we didn't find out that we were one of those until just before. I can't remember now if it was a week or two before because things have all blurred. So it was a quick progression of how things happened. It would have been a fabulous event and we may do it again. And it may just be us. Obviously, it won't be any time when Lisa has weddings because we can't afford to pay her what brides pay her. However it happened, but it was a huge bonus to have Shannon. And then we also had a new DDM, Elizabeth, join us. And then we also had Sarah Douglas, who is the CEO of Stampin' Up. So it couldn't have gotten any better. We also got to see a little bit of sneak peek of product. And we also got a little bit of swag from Stampin' Up. So those are all things that we must keep secret, the things that we got. So it was super, super fun. But a little bit tiring. From about Thursday on until we got home about 11 on Sunday night, it was full on going, but always an energizing going. And when you don't have to add the flight, those of you that have been to Stampin' Up events, and it was only about an hour drive broken up by various stops that we made. So I'm going to show you just a few things, lots of product and some things that we did to make the weekend special. And I'm going to show you my swaps, which I thought I had lost. And I've texted the girls to say they're not lost. We brought a lot of memorabilia. Those of us hosting, my daughter came in as day of host. She didn't help with the planning, but she did do a presentation session. She has been with Stampin' Up her entire life because I've been a demonstrator since she was a baby, literally a baby. So she helped present, but I couldn't find these. So we had the memorabilia and I had a bag of aprons, various assorted aprons from Stampin' Up events, and it had gotten shoved in the aprons. So it was soft. I have not seen them. I decided once I found them that I would just do the reveal of my swaps with you. So let's get going. Let's see how to do this. I'll start with these because, well, Yeah, these are Saturday nights. Saturday night we did a shoebox swap. For those of you that don't know what a shoebox swap is, everybody brings their own project, and then we divided it up and you made 10 of everybody else's. So this was my shoebox swap. You may think it looks a little bit familiar if you were there and you didn't get mine, because we had more people than 10, so you got 10 of the different ones. You can go watch this video on my YouTube channel. So we had swap guidelines. I mean, you had to use all online exclusives, because we have a retiring list that comes out tomorrow on Wednesday, and we weren't sure what would make it into the new catalog and what wouldn't. So because the online exclusives are new, even though some of them are currently unavailable, we thought that a lot of them might be returning. So this is the exact same card. The only thing I switched out was this paper, which is the naturally gilded paper. I switched it with the animal prints, and then I left off the embellishments, which it really doesn't need. And on this particular card, I think this one is maybe Mossy Meadow, because we're getting a color refresh. And then I used Old Olive on this one because it's been around forever, and I thought if one was going to go, oh no, this is maybe this. On this video I did do a couple of different colors. I think this might be the evergreen. Sometimes the greens, when they're all here in my studio light, it's hard to tell, but I felt like Old Olive had a better chance of making it through the color refresh, so I went with Old Olive. But otherwise it's the exact same card, so you can do it with any of the golds. And then you can see you only need one color of ink, and it's a double emboss technique. We pulled in a lot of, our friend Lisa kept saying with the four of us, we had over 100 years of experience, which we do. It just makes us sound a little bit old. But we had several old techniques that we pulled in. And part of the reason that we got away from some of these techniques is because now we have so many fun tools. And back in the day, we had fewer tools. So you just did more with what you had. So the double embossing kind of fell by the wayside. And then we also had on Saturday night, on Sunday was all demonstrators. On Saturday night for the shoebox swap, we had a few ladies join us who are not demonstrators. Next time we do it, we may work it so we can have another, I think, word of mouth. Next time we'll get more people in. I think this time a lot of you were like, we don't know who you are and we don't know what you're doing and we're not sure what this is. And our advertising, like we all personally put it, but for some of us, Lafayette is a little bit further out. It's not terribly far. It's about 45 minutes from where I live. But it wasn't extremely local. We had people from Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois. We had people from far away come. So y'all can drive 45 minutes to come. And part of the reason we did Saturday night then was so you could sleep over, because it's always fun to sleep over at a Stampin' Up event. But some of the girls then just came on Saturday because they were customers. So we provided shoebox swaps for them. And so this was my monogram. Super simple. Just this little frame, and then we covered it with a piece of the naturally gilded, and they could pick whichever monogram they wanted. Couldn't be any simpler. The monograms are back, right? So that was the shoebox swaps. Then when everybody came in, if you've seen the pictures on, I don't have my shoebox. There was a shoebox on the table. I may not. A lot of the stuff I didn't get, and I've been trying to piece things back together because I never actually sat down. I did sit down to eat, but not at a place that had anything. But when they came in, I did get a packet of stuff, but I think mine got open. When they came in on Sunday morning, they had a stack, and it had their take and makes. We did not actually stamp on Sunday, and even then we barely fit everything in. So a take and make as opposed to a make and take. When you make and take something, you make it there and you take it home. When you take and make, you take the stuff home, and then we provided the PDFs, and I will show you my part of the take and makes. So they had a package of the naturally gilded paper, 12 by 12. They had a full packet of this. They had a packet of the iridescent gems, and then a full packet of the note cards and envelopes, the white ones. And then all of the take and makes that we designed. Each of us did a couple of designs each for those. I got a PDF so they can go home and make them. And then they had this on top of their thing. It was not decorated because they can go home and decorate their clipboards, because back in the day when we all did in-home workshops, because the internet did not exist for us to do online workshops, we used to decorate our clipboards. So when we took them to workshops, people could fill out their order forms on them. But there were other ways that we used them. I had a calendar one, and I'll pull that out and do it in another video. So we all decorated our clipboards, and we should have, my daughter was taking pictures. I don't know if she got a picture of all of our decorated clipboards. They're so much fun to decorate, and these things are incredibly cheap. I had my 2006 calendar there from when I did it, and I will, like I said, I'll put that in another video. Then they all got one of these little charms, and you all have gotten them before if you purchase from me, because I have offered them as incentives in the past. And you can use them on your scissors so people know they're yours, or on a bone folder if you drill a hole in it. And then we encourage them to bring pins that Stampin' Up! Gives us at events, because you know, if you've been to Disney or someplace like that, there's pin swapping. And so Stampin' Up! Gives us these pins. And they also give us pins for recognition for a number of years served. If you go on incentive trips, you get a pin. If you hit milestones, you get pins. So people wore their pins, people displayed their pins, and then you could trade pins. And so we had ribbon that you could tie on. And it's just a fun little way. I have a couple of clipboards because if you write something and your studio is as messy as mine, I keep my important papers on my clipboards. At least it's easier to find them than, even if it's down in your kitchen, wherever you write on all your papers. If you keep your papers on a little clipboard, then you can find the clipboard easier than your stacks of little papers. So that was there on top of all of their stuff as their morning little gift, along with all of their take and makes. Here's one of the things that Stampin' Up! Gave us, of course, a pin. And this one is the 35th logo. And then look at this cute little card. Somehow I'm going to photograph some of these things, and I will, there was more of this that went with this gift from Stampin' Up!, but that part I'm not going to share with you. This was our thank you card from Sarah, those of us that helped present. Well, where the heck did I put those? Here they are. But somehow I'm going to line this stuff up and make it my new Facebook banner, because it's all super cute. So this is the 35th, and then a little thank you card. So she gave my daughter a thank you card, and it was the shoebox swap that she made of my card, because it was a little inside joke with the two of them. Then, I was going to show you these. These were my take and makes. Again, I used the alphabet, and I did the little monograms. Again, this is an old technique, kind of the throwback to the 35 years. We brought back some techniques, and I am going to do, at some point, I will do a video with these, and I need to do it quick because this letter set actually belongs to my daughter, but I think that I snuck it in my stuff to bring home so I could do this for you. But look how cute these are. These are the little note cards that everybody got in their packet. All of this stuff came, the ribbon, the embellishments, and then the paper, and the note cards and envelopes, and you just emboss these and then press the letters into it. So this is the silver paper gold with the gold embossing, the silver, and I just added a little bit of blending brush, and then a strip of those with the silver, and then the copper with the copper. This was kind of a mistake, but and then on the back side, you could make, my daughter fell in love with these because, she wasn't alive in the 80s when the monograms were all in, and 80s are back. So she really likes this, but she said that she would like to make these for wedding gifts, and you could do the monogram of the last name for the wedding. So that's my make and take, or take and make. And then we all had, this is the hardest part when you go to an event like this and you are part of it, is we had 8 different breakout sessions, and they got to pick, I think originally they were going to pick 6, but we were running low on time because we had some super fun presentations from our Stampin' Up! Friends, and we didn't want to shortchange them by any stretch of the imagination, because again, new product, and so when you're getting to see new stuff, then we just they got to pick less of ours. So I did an embossing paste one. So those of you that took my retreat recently will recognize a little bit of this. Here's the embossing paste on here. I showed them how to mix it up, how to add the gold leafing to it. And again, I used the products that we were using for the retreat, and embossing paste, and gold leafing with some refill. And I went with colors that I hoped would make the color refresh. And peacock is a new color that we know that's coming back. Not quite sure how I did with that little challenge there. And then when they came back from lunch, we had some more goodies on their thing. We had stamped these fun little chalkboards. And then we gave them a pen, because, you know, Stampin' Up's all about the pens. So we made these fun little pens with the old style logo. And then we gave them the bone folder and the little thing so they can hook their charm on. These were pre-drilled so they can add their charm. And then we had the fun cookies made in the currant in colors, because we knew those were all safe because they got another year. So it was super cute with all of the colors on the table that matched. And then these were all also in colors. When we laid them on the table, I was very careful to not give anybody the same color pin as the same color cookie. But apparently the ones that got laid over for me to take home didn't work that way. So hopefully and you know, they're a little bit worse for being jammed in my bag and traveled home. You can see that my little line has moved there. And I really want to eat it, but I wanted to get a picture of it, and I got no pictures that day. So let's take a look at my swaps. If you go to a 35 for 35 event, then there's a swap contest. And so we had somebody win. I don't think that I got one of the swaps that won. But I think Sarah maybe posted a picture on her Instagram. This is my swap, and I will be doing a demo of that. This is my daughter's swap. I knew those were the top two. I know some of these are fun folds, but for now, I am not going to open the envelopes to show you the fun folds. Obviously, we had some guidelines, and you'll see as I go through here, you had to use online exclusives. By the time the loose frosted dots had sold out so quickly that we swapped the option to use, if you hadn't got the loose frosted dots, you could use the iridescent gems. We wanted to keep it simple, so everybody, that looks like, yep, that's a fun fold. My friend Amy made this one, so I'm sure it's a beautiful fun fold. I will open them. I can tell this one is also a fun fold. You gotta love when people take the time to do a fun fold for their swap. Oh, and this one's really pretty. So much fun. And I really want to open them, but it takes a long time to open all of these envelopes and pull the cards out. So I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek, and then maybe over the next few videos that I do, I will have pulled them out and I will give you a little bit of a better look. So we always, when we swap with each other, we put them in some kind of protective envelope. That way, especially if you're traveling far or they are getting jammed in a bag with aprons, they stay. Look how pretty that is with that little rainbow effect there. And this is, oh, this one, oh, look at Debbie Ray there. She put hers in the protective envelope and I could still open it. There's some creative genius. And I can tell this one's a fun fold because I can feel it. Some creative people. Obviously a fun fold, and she used those letters as well. This is the one I think that my daughter showed me that one, and she was doing registration at the table. I think that, did I show you everything? I think so. So I am going to, yesterday I thought, well, I can, on the way home from jury duty, I'd only got 1 cup of coffee in because, you know, when you work from home, you don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get dressed and head out the door. And so I only had time for 1 cup of coffee. And on the way home, I thought maybe I can go home and I can stamp. And the closer I got to home, I thought I have absolutely no creative anything in my body right now. So I pulled some stuff over here and I thought I'm going to stamp first. And then I sat here for a couple of minutes. And I've had 1 cup of coffee. I usually have my second one a little later in the morning. And then I thought, nope, still nothing creative. I had the stamps. I'm going to work on the club card. If I have my second cup of coffee and I still don't feel it, I decided, well, I got these things here, my swap card and my take and makes. I can just do something I've already done, even though I'd really rather do club card. We'll see how we go. I will play with it first. I don't want the club card to suffer because I don't have creativeness flowing, but you never know. Sometimes you get going and it just happens. I have nothing. Like I have no design, nothing in my head at the moment. So watch for it. We want to do this again. It won't be anytime in the near future. You know, the whole 9 months thing between having babies, that kind of happens with these things too. It'll be a minute before we do it again. We will keep the page. We had a Facebook page. We had an event. We hosted an event before Indie on Stage, and I think it was called Indianapolis on Stage. It was not a creative title. And then we changed the name of it. It's the same Facebook group, but we did change it, I think, 35 Ways to Celebrate Stampin' Up, which was the name of this event. We named it that in hopes that we would maybe be picked for a 35 for 35 event. Again, you have absolutely no idea. So if you go to somebody's event, they may have applied, they don't know. And the intent behind those events is that Stampin' Up shows up to a demonstrator hosted event. Stampin' Up isn't going to advertise. Stampin' Up doesn't have anything to do with it. They just show up. And so it's the event that the demonstrator's going to have. I don't know why I was saying that because I'm tired. But don't put pressure on demonstrators who are hosting these, because it's just their event. It's just their little event. Oh, but I was going to say the Facebook page, we are keeping it open, and that if we change the name of it again, we would probably change it to the name. Our event, and I think people thought it was a team event. Those of us hosting it are not in the same team. We've met one of our friends, Debbie Rodriguez. She's not in our team. Lisa's not in my team. Tanya, Susan, and I are part of the same team, but it was not a team event. It was open and to anybody that wanted to come from anywhere. And we thought it would be kind of a Midwest thing, but like I said, we had people from far away come. And of the overall, probably 90% of the people were not part of our team. So it was open to anybody. And I know other demonstrators have events like that. So we like anybody to come who's a demonstrator. So there you go. Thanks for looking. And if you are a demonstrator, you do not have to be anybody. Like and I hate when people say, I am just a hobbyist. There's not a just a. Don't say just a. You can say you're a hobbyist if that's what you want to say, but you are not just anything. You are all free to host any kind of event and then apply for a 35 for 35. Even if you think you're just going to have 5 people there, apply. You never know. They want all kinds of different events. So apply. Everybody is welcome to apply. You don't have to be anything. Even if you are a hobbyist, you can still apply. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.